Hello, everyone out there. I am Marja Zapušek, and I am a Talk to the Entities facilitator. And I will be chatting to you about Talk to the Entities and the entity world we get to play with and engage with. And how does it get any better? I'm really excited. I'm one of those people, I've always been one of those, what you call it, freaks that was always so excited about entities and the entity world and the spirit world. I was always so curious, and I was different. I really did not have the fear that most people around me would have around entities, or doubt, or basically thinking, it's just something imaginary. Um, and I just would like, also, that's my ask for everyone, to have that, to get to know these tools, to get to know, talk to the entities, and get to have fun with entities. That's actually one of my big asks, in my business, in my world, because entities and the spirit world is so amazing, and it's so contributory, and it's so fun, and it can be really magical. And what makes us think that, what makes people think that the entity world, or entity awareness of entities, is a curse or something, a burden, is basically because, I would say, that they don't have information, or they have misinformation, or they don't have the correct tools to go about this. And usually, as I am a facilitator, I facilitate classes, and it's so amazing to see people that come, in the beginning, they come to an introduction or any class, and they are scared, or they're just very, like, a little bit timid or doubtful, and think, okay, what is this gonna be? Or they think that this is gonna be like this mystical thing, and then they're just so surprised when they see, wow, this is so easy, this is so fun, this is amazing, this is actually very practical. And that's also what I love about the Talk to the Entities tools, because they are very practical, and they make life so much easier. And then when people figure this out, they see, wow, I was living without this. I could have had so much more ease. And then the adventure begins. Then the magical exploration is really available. And that's where I also get the enthusiasm and fun and joy with regards to Talk to the Entities. I love talking about this. um, even if people have barriers up, or they're like, look at me funny, I just start talking about it, or I love being with this. And in one of my previous classes, there was a lady that actually said, wow, I cannot believe that I get to be so happy. I don't know how this happened. I don't know. I really don't know cognitively with my head. I can't tell you, but I am so happy. And that is actually a similar effect that using the tools of Talk to the Entities had on me. I used to be really unhappy at one point, and I didn't know what. Basically, I had really a lot of confusion and sadness in my world. And then when I went to my first Talk to the Entities class with Shannon O'Hara, um, I started becoming happier and happier. And then I also realized it's not just me that's happy, it's actually all the spirit world that's becoming happier, because of us interacting, because of the interaction between, and the inclusion between me and the spirit world. And that creates this beautiful connection, this beautiful side effect of, I would say actually it's healing. It's a very healing side effect, and it heals your life. It heals it creates this well-being in your world and in your everyday life. And then, of course, it also, I would say, it also creates in it also creates change in areas that you wouldn't think, that you wouldn't connect logically. You wouldn't think, oh, this is gonna change, for example, my money situation, or my relationship with my mother, or my relationship with my whole family is going to change because I start engaging with the spirit world, and because I start using the tools of talk to the entities, because I start clearing, communicating, receiving, and cooperating with the spirit world. And one of the beautiful things, also the side effects, or the healing effects, I would also say, is when we start to let ourselves receive as well from the spirit world, because the spirit world is here and it desires to contribute to us. It's always here. We are the ones that are choosing not to engage with it, not to acknowledge it, not to, we are aware, but we're not acknowledging, or we're cutting off our awareness of the existence of it. And it just, you just get access, or it's basically like one big one big source of contribution becomes available to you. It's like a big hug that you get to walk around with, always being really nurtured, being and supported. And that feeling that a lot of people, that a lot of us have, maybe all the time since we were children, of being alone, and not, like, being lonely and alone, then you get to realize that you're never alone, that you always have someone or something to talk to, and someone always responds when you ask. This is always there. It is always available, and we don't have to suffer. We don't have to feel lonely. We don't have to feel that the world is against us, because we always have this source of contribution that is supporting us. And what actually did create this for me, and for a lot of people, is starting to use the tools, which is one of the tools, and one of the I would say special things that we do with talk to the entities, is what makes it so much easier and so much organized and practical, is using the tools in a time that's called business hours. And that is a time we set aside for us and the entities to start using the tools of talk to the entities. So basically start clearing, start communicating, start receiving from the entities and with the entities, and start cooperating. And for me, in the beginning, I was a little bit, I was quite, how do you call it? Stubborn. I wouldn't use the tools so much. And I would start having trouble, like difficulties in my life, and life would start getting hard again. And then as soon as I would start using, I would start doing the business hours, so regularly. And this is something that is also called taking care of your energetic hygiene, because it basically, you have to take care of your physical hygiene every day, right? You have to brush your teeth, comb your hair, take a shower, wash your clothes and everything. And then also we forget that we also have our energetic bodies, and if we actually take care of our energetic hygiene, that actually creates so much greater. And when I started doing this, and actually I have to give a shout out to Dr. Anthony Mattis, that that I saw this. He literally had a timer on his phone. And when we had a conversation, the timer went off, and I was like, what is that for? And he was like, oh, it's for business hours. I'm now going to have a short time to use the tools of talk to the entities. And we did it together. And that was so inspiring for me, to somebody to be really creative with this, and making it really really practical and available. So I started doing that too. And every ever since I've done that regularly, my life has changed dynamically. My days are easier. It's basically walking almost like in a magic land, because I get contributed. When I ask for something, I receive faster. I receive from people differently. People receive me differently. I see people differently, and I interact with people, not just entity, not just spirit world, but also with people, embodies embodied entities, I would say. So it changes everything, and and it enriches your life in so many dynamic ways. And for me, like, the biggest thing for me is this big source of joy that it brings me. And also, I'm always asking for, what would it take for everyone to know that this is available, and that is possible for every one of us. And it's not hard, and it's not something you need to study for, or you don't need to do some processes or like rituals or anything. You can just do it sitting down, watching TV, or washing the dishes, or um, I do it. I also do my office business hours during walking my dogs, and it makes the walk so much greater. And also, my dogs become very more present, and I become present with my dogs, and it becomes this beautiful adventure. Um, yeah, basically, life becomes really fun and joyful and ease filled, I would say. So I invite everyone that has not been using, or does not know, or has not been to a class, to maybe pick up, see where your nearest, you can go to a nearest class, or maybe pick up the book from Shannon O'Hara, Talk to the Entities, and dive in and see what is possible for you. Because I really see a world where every being is included, as something that is a beautiful future that we can look forward to. So thank you for listening, and hope to see you somewhere in the world. Bye.